Hi, I'm Paul Curtis. We're here in Grand Rapids, Michigan at the NTAC National Conference here. We've got several students up here to help share their story. They've joined us here with a bunch of teachers, over 1,200 teachers, and very important to us is try to bring that student voice to teachers to remind us of what this work is about. So these three students are all from Niles, and let me have them introduce themselves and just give us your name and your grade level. And
I'm Bailey. I'm going to be a sophomore, and I go to Niles NTAC Entrepreneurial Academy.
Hi, I'm Simone Smith. I'll be in 10th grade this year, and I also attend Niles NTAC Entrepreneurial Academy.
My name is Mollie. I'm also going into the 10th grade, and I'm also attend Niles NTAC Entrepreneurial Academy.
So let's start with Mollie, since you have the mic. So last year was the first year the school opened.
That's correct.
And you had a choice of going to the traditional school or going to NTAC, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about what made you choose to go to NTAC.
The reason I chose NTAC was so I could become better at working with group members, and the whole group setting was kind of not easy for me because I like to do everything my own way. So just getting to work with others, I knew that was an important skill, and that's really what helped me make my decision to join NTAC.
Mm-hmm. Was there, did teachers come to your school or in your 8th grade classes, your middle school, or did you have to go to an orientation? How did you find out about it?
Well, our director came to the 8th grade classes and told us about NTAC. He had several orientations for us, different classes, parent nights we could go to. So there was about 4 of those, and we just got to go there and get a lot of information, a lot of questions answered.
Mm-hmm. Great. So what's your story? How did you decide to go to this crazy school and leave the tradition behind?
Well, at first I thought it would just be a different style of learning and it would be cool, but I was also enrolled in the regular high school too because I didn't know what decision to make or which one would be better for me.
You're hedging your bets a little, huh?
Yes. So as I was enrolled in both schools, I decided just to go with NTAC because I thought it would be a better opportunity and it would be better in the long run within going to school for colleges and looking on towards the future to help.
And how did your parents feel about your decision? Were they behind you, or were they like, nah?
My mom was all for NTAC. She pushed me to stay in it.
Yeah.
Even when I wanted to get out during the year, she pushed me to stay in it and stay positive.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that. Let's hear your story. What brought you to NTAC?
Well, I was going to be enrolled in an advanced math and science center, but then the NTAC came along, and I thought that would help me with presenting and with group work because I work well individually mostly. So I figured that it would help me in the long run.
I think that's kind of interesting that you both said, I really work well individually, but I knew I needed to learn to work with others, and that was kind of part of your choice. So was that one of the hardest things for you to learn in the first couple of months of school? Or maybe just tell me, what was that first couple of months like? Was it fun, or was it exhausting? Or
it was hard. For one of my classes at the beginning of the year, I had somebody in my group that was really hard for me to work with. He didn't do enough, and I've got that want to lead people. So, and he just didn't want to do anything. So it was kind of hard for me. I was hitting that October wall really hard. But after you get past it, it was amazing.
And so what was your first couple of months like?
Oh, very, very, very stressful.
Yeah.
I had doubts about the program, and I had planned to go back to the traditional school. I had made some contacts to go back to the traditional school, but I decided to push through, and I'm so happy that I did because
So what were those challenges? What were your difficulties?
Learning in a new way was very hard, and with being a freshman and all the work with having to deal with sports and everything else too, it made it very difficult. And just learning in a new way and the new style of learning, I wasn't used to it, and then all the projects and the group work.
So describe that a little bit. What was your old Did you do pretty well in middle school?
I did really good in middle school.
So what was it about that you used to do really well in middle school that was now totally different in the new environment?
Well, in middle school, it's basically when you're in a regular traditional setting, it's just like book work. So it's easy to follow along and easy to study and easy to get all your answers. But I found it difficult this year because you had to figure some things out on your own, or you had to ask others, and that's something I wasn't really comfortable with at first. So I think that helped me because I'm not shy anymore. I'm more talkative. It helped with my speaking skills and everything. So I think it's really beneficial.
Okay. And what was your first couple of months like at NTAC?
I had a lot of the same problems, struggling, just getting used to not having the textbook right there to find the answer, having to research stuff online, asking your group members, asking the facilitators, and just advocating for yourself and for your own learning.
Maybe you could tell us what was the project that was most interesting and challenging or fun for you? Do you have a project that was kind of memorable that you really...
I actually really liked the first project we did. We had a project, it dealt with industrialization. It was in our American Studies class, which is American History and English 9. And it was a SMEGA project, which is Southwest Michigan Economic Growth Alliance. And what we were doing is by looking at the industrialization and how things worked then and what made America so successful, we made videos to help bring, businesses back, and especially to Niles. We have a lot in that area, a lot of transportation, and it was really fun making the videos and learning about the history and connecting it to the present day.
Awesome. Do you have a project that you remember?
I think my favorite project this year was in bioart when we dealt with bacteria and bacterial resistance. I thought that was really interesting on how many bacteria there are and how they can become resistant and everything it can do to prevent that and things like that. I thought that was really interesting.
And what was the product you had to produce for that project?
Well, we made books for children, so we taught them, we had to teach them good hygiene, wash your hands and all that type of stuff. And we also had to learn our part, and then we took from our part and then we made the final product, which was for the children. So there was a lot of prep before that, where we had to do workshops and watch videos about bacteria resistance and like MRSA and all that type of stuff.
Great. What about you?
I liked all of the projects we did this year, but my favorite would have to be the one we did in American Studies on Romeo and Juliet. We had to act out a scene, and I like acting, so it was really fun for me.
So, can you quote a line? Put you on the spot?
From the scene I did?
Anything.
I honestly don't know right now.
That's one of those things. It's the difference between the temporary knowledge and the enduring understanding.
Yeah.
So, have you had other opportunities to practice your acting in NTAC?
Well, with NTAC, we are still connected to our traditional high school, so we are still considered the Niles Vikings, and we still participate in all the sports and all the clubs and activities. So I was able to be a nun in our school version of The Sound of Music.
Oh, okay. I won't make you sing.
Yeah, thank you.
So that raises an interesting question, though. So, because you're so close to the traditional campus, what's the relationship like between the NTAC kids and the kids in the regular school, and how have you guys worked to navigate that?
It's really not very good. It's been hard for everybody to transition. Not many people like to change nowadays, since everything's with the economy and all that, I think. But they just thought it was, we have a 6th grade center, and we have laptops there, but most of the time we just did like educational fun games on the computer. So the older kids, they see us as new space with their teachers on new laptops doing nothing but fun games all day. So I think that's part of it.
They don't know what the real work is like because they haven't
Yeah.
seen it, so they just make assumptions based on what they think a
Exactly.
computer lab is.
And when we offer tours for people to come in from the regular high school, and once they do see how we work, they
They get it.
they get it.
Yeah.
And they respect us a lot more. However, I want to say it's gotten worse as the year's gone on, but over the summer we're going to try to mend that, what was broken between the two. So there's going to be a panel of students and learners from both schools. So.
Oh, cool. Okay. So, what about your friends that stayed in the traditional environment? What's that like?
Well, I'm on a varsity sport team, so when I'll be at practice, they'll be like, "Oh, stupid New Tech, you guys don't do anything," or they'll make a joke about New Tech, and they just don't understand. So it is hard with my friends that didn't choose to do New Tech, but what I don't understand is how they're so rude, but they had the choice to do it too, or the chance to do it. So I don't understand why they choose to be that way.
It's interesting human nature, you know, when people are doing something different, they feel like they're rejected themselves, and that's one of those things, like how do I make them feel bad about their choice because they just rejected what I'm doing? It's just a human nature thing. What about you? Have you had any experiences with friends or?
I actually have a lot of friends that didn't choose the New Tech model, and I still talk to them. We have our 6th period class is in the regular high school, so we actually get to talk with other students from the rest of the high school still. I see all my friends, and the only thing, it is a little tough, and some people say stuff they shouldn't, but it's really not about that, because in the end they're just jealous of what we have, and they don't really know what it is. And I think that it was really helpful, kind of like Bailey said, at the end of the year when everyone started coming and taking tours. It really made a huge difference when people understood what was going on, and they respected us after that, and I think that's really good, and I hope we can give more people tours in the years to come.
I'm sure you will. Our schools tend to attract tours. So let's think about what you were like as a freshman that first day of school and what you are like now. What would you say is the biggest change in you, the biggest thing that's grown?
I would probably say I'm more confident, especially just speaking in front of people. Everything I do, we've spoken at open houses. I probably never would have done that before. And you just really feel confident in everything you do. You're more confident in your work. You're proud of your work instead of like just, saying bad stuff about it. And I think that's really the biggest difference.
Good.
I agree a lot with what Mollie said. I'm able to go speak to business partners and not be afraid to do that. At first, if in the beginning of the year I would not be able to do that, I wouldn't probably be here speaking in the beginning of the year. So it helps with your confidence and maybe your personality. If you're a quiet person, you can't be that anymore because you're constantly giving presentations and you're constantly talking to business partners and teachers and students. So that helps a lot too.
I'd have to agree with both of them as well. I would talk for things as well, but as throughout the year, I was able to find that confidence in myself so that I could really speak confidently to others about what we're doing and what I hope that we can accomplish in the future and stuff like that.
So what do you hope you'll become by the time you graduate?
I honestly don't know. All of this, our amazing facilitators keep saying, "Oh my gosh, you've grown so much since the beginning of the year. We can't wait to see how much you guys have changed at the end of the 4 years." I'm really looking forward to that, to see how far I've grown.
Well, let me let you off the hot seat pretty quickly here. You've been here with a bunch of teachers, which you usually never see in the real world. Usually teachers just go in their closet, wait for you to come back the next day. And now you realize that here we are at a conference and that they're learners too. I'm just curious what it's been like being a student, observing teachers being students here. What's it been like hanging out with a bunch of adults?
I think it's really cool. I feel really special. I think it's a really beneficial thing that we're able to be here and learn with them, I feel like we're right next to them in the learning process, and I think that's great.
So what's something you walked away with? Did you have a cool session that you learned something neat in today?
We had a great session. It was the learner voice, or the learner board one, and getting so many different ideas from different schools and how we can fix ours or better ours, and I think that's great. 'Cause
Awesome.
it helped a lot. I learned a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably also my favorite, the student advisory board, since we've had a learner voice council and we've just struggled with it sometimes, not really knowing the exact thing that's best for our school, and just getting to hear different ideas from all the different schools, how different people do it differently. It's really cool, and it gives you more ideas.
Yeah. And what's it like being with adults for you here? Has it
I
been
think it's
strange or comfortable?
I feel really comfortable just because of the relationships we have with our facilitators. But it's really cool to know that we're here learning how we can better the school, and they're also here learning how they can better the school. And it shows that we all care about our school, and we can all come together. And we kind of are like a family because we spend so much time together.
Awesome. And what about you? How's your day been?
I really enjoyed myself. My family spends a lot of time helping teachers and spending time with them, so it's not too different for me, but I do enjoy getting to be one-on-one, going to the same workshops that they're going to, and then just bouncing ideas off of each other. That's a great experience, and it's beneficial on both ends.
Great. Well, I just want to thank you very much. You guys did a fantastic job, and you represented your school very well. And I want to congratulate you for the courage it took to choose to go to NTAC when it was a brand new school and you didn't know what you're getting into, and for you for sticking it out even though you were suffering some challenges there. That's fantastic. And for being brave enough to share yourself with all the people out there. So thank you very much. So from Grand Rapids here in Michigan at our NTAC Annual Conference 2012, we'll talk to you soon.